So apparently in Ekurhuleni, you can promote yourself, you can wear fake police ranks, and you can give criminals blue lights and still get paid, my people. Welcome to South Africa's version of law and disorder. Let's unpack the circus. When I tell you that it is all about power, corruption, and how a criminal cartel actually managed to take over the police force in the country, you would think I am lying, okay? This isn't just theory. It is the subject of ongoing Madlanga Commission. And the testimony is shaking the entire SA to its core. It must shake you too, because what I'm about to tell you is gacha after one, after another, after is gacha. Haibo, Julius Mkhwanazi, yo. We are going to unpack how a sophisticated criminal network known as the Big Five actually allegedly infiltrated and compromised the very people that were sworn to protect the public, starting with a single Metropolitan Police Department, okay? To understand everything that is happening, to understand the fall, we must first have to understand what actually came before it, okay? So let's just quickly go back to the testimony of former Ekurhuleni Metro Police Department Chief. He was giving testimony yesterday together with today, and he finished his last part of the testimony this afternoon. And what he said was so heartbreaking. Not only was it heartbreaking, but it was also touching, considering the impact that this whole thing has had in his career, in his life, and also in his health, you know. Anyway, this man has nearly 40 years of service, my people. Mapiaye described a department that before 2021, according to him, was actually quite very functional, and it was structured, man. He is said to have been in full control. He had full command. He was the boss he thought he was. He was listened to when he spoke. There was something about his presence that allowed people to submit to him, not because they have to, but because they see him as their boss, as their chief, as their CEO, you know, who knows better than them, but also who leads with service and a heart of love for his employees together with the community. The EMPD, my people, was divided into very clear divisions according to how he remembers. There was a division for operations, a division for compliance. There was a division also for internal affairs. And all these were actually working on standard policing and enforcing city bylaws. It became so interesting to actually also know that EMPD apparently does not have the power to investigate because they deal a lot with city bylaws. But anyway, we will talk about that in another video, not here. The most interesting thing about this was because he was the chief, he was responsible for promotions, he was responsible for new appointments, and a whole lot of sensitive contracts. That all required his direct oversight. So this system was designed to make sure that there is transparency and to make sure that there is some form of accountability. And this allowed it to integrate the police department into the city's governance structure. But, my people, even then, when such looks like it is moving smoothly, they are cruising nicely, and other people actually see him to be a chief that he is, the cracks were starting to unfortunately show. So Mapiaye testified that the decay actually began long before he went on special leave. So Mapiaye basically has a deputy, and the deputy that he had is Julius Mkhwanazi, that's his name. And his own deputy, my people, was apparently already showing a whole lot of shocking defiance even before he was to take special leave for his family responsibilities. Mkhwanazi, according to what Mapiaye would recall, Mkhwanazi would openly disregard Mapiaye's direct orders. I mean, just like a child, you tell them sit down and they say, why should I sit down? Oh, that's exactly how he was. He would run secret recruitment panels. Imagine like not telling your boss you don't have the power and authority to do so, but you do so anyway because you are rogue enough and you trust in I don't know what. You know nothing is going to happen to you. You know, he would rush through appointments of people that are supposed to come into the organization. He would be at some point trying to basically just get them finalized before his boss could actually intervene or come back from leave. You know, this wasn't just insubordination, according to me. This is crazy. This is you on crystal meth. And a parent is telling you, yes, get out of my house because you are not a child I have birthed. I birthed you, but I did not give you these morals. So can you please get out of my house? That's exactly how it is. But unfortunately, it's not your house. This is a work. And this Mkhwanazi person is protected by the Employment Act, by the what Act, by the what. Apart from the acts and all the legal things, he's also protected by cartels. So, my people, this wasn't just simple insubordination, if you get it. Mapiaye actually revealed a very crucial enabling factor that made us actually understand why this man was quite carefree of the consequences. And that was the fact that there was a city manager. The name of the city manager is Dr. Imogen Mashazi. She allegedly told Mapiaye to just, in inverted commas, leave recruitment matters to Mkhwanazi. Imagine this city manager is telling the chief of EMPD to leave recruitment matters that are his responsibility to a subordinate, to a brigadier. Aye, guys. No. So this statement basically effectively created a whole lot of parallel power structure, particularly because the city manager is also the manager is basically the manager for Mapiaye. So there is the city manager, and then there's Mapiaye, who is the chief, and then there is Mkhwanazi. So now city manager says, no, you don't. I don't need Mkhwanazi to tell me what to do through you. Mkhwanazi can do whatever he wants to do, and don't stop him. What? This woman is rogue, okay? This statement actually effectively created a parallel power struggle because there was no other way. It shielded Mkhwanazi clearly, and it sidelined the chief of police, and planting the seed for a very full-blown takeover from Mkhwanazi. There's no way he would not feel untouchable if such has been said to him and such ability to do all these rogue things has been given to him. When Mapiaye officially went on leave, this was in 2021, it was the moment whereby Mkhwanazi and his backers had been waiting. So the man was waiting, go on leave, man, so I can change things. They had been waiting for this opportunity because they've been planning a whole lot of things, and Mapiaye was clearly disturbing their modus operandi. The power grab was so swift and so audacious that Mkhwanazi immediately promoted himself to acting chief. My people, what do you mean? You are not promoted by anyone else. No one else has said, come, we are giving you this opportunity to prove yourself. No one has appointed you. He promotes himself to acting chief. And then between May and July of that year of 2021, he then irregularly appoint over 55 senior officers. I'm not talking about a constable. I'm not talking about these low-class people. I'm talking about people who are holding positions that have authority, not just authority, but positions that are decision makers. All this in 2 months when his boss is not there and he is acting chief. He's not even the chief, he's acting chief. Hey, my gosh. This, my people, wasn't just filling vacancies. It was a strategic move to make sure he floods the department with loyalists who obviously would owe their careers directly to him, particularly because they know he has bypassed all the established HR protocols. So he can obviously control the people that he himself has placed in the service. And 55 senior officers, my people, is a lot of people. That is a lot of people to just say, okay, bye. He even started introducing new police uniform. He even started introducing not just the uniform, the ranks. Now we have new uniform, now we have new ranks. We must do this thing differently. Acting as if he had the authority to unilaterally restructure this entire police service. And the truth is, who protected him? According to the testimony, my people, Dr. Imogen Mashazi became Mkhwanazi's primary political shield, okay? Mapia confirmed that internal reports and even formal disciplinary actions against Mkhwanazi, and this is including some from IPID, which is the Independent Police Investigative Directorate, were actually systematically blocked. And everyone now, in hindsight, is asking themselves, how were they systematically blocked? Clearly, someone who knew could have done so. But anyway, this is apparently said that they were allegedly ignored by Mashazi. She ignored them because she knew them. Yeah, what? This is literally the worst thing that can ever happen in any important law enforcement organization, my people. And that is not something we'd love to hear. So they were allegedly ignored by Mashazi, the head of HR, which is Ulinda, and advocate Kemi Behari. Also just ignored it. So this protection allowed Mkhwanazi's initial defiance to kind of grow into something far more sinister, okay? And this made him have some form of systemic corruption. So the EMPD was no longer a police service. It actually then ended up becoming a very private kind of a fiefdom, with the EMPD structure completely compromised. And unfortunately, because it is compromised, the doors were flung wide open for the alleged kingpin of the Big Five cartel. And who am I talking about? I'm not talking about anyone else except for the cat himself, okay? Vusimuzi cat Matlala. Testimony from Lieutenant General Khumalo actually formally identified the Big Five as a very, very, my people, sophisticated criminal cooperation that is involved in everything from drug trafficking and tender fraud to things like contract killings. Matlala was named as a key boss. He is named as a figure that is notorious for his ability to evade prosecution there. And that means he is quite a dangerous person, unfortunately. The commission was hearing absolutely explosive evidence. I was also saying, what do you mean, Mapia? He spoke in such a soft voice and he didn't have a lot of words to say, you know. When he responded to questions, he didn't really take long, man. He speaks very slowly and he does not want to add certain things that are unnecessary. You know, you can tell whatever he's saying, he's thinking about. So the explosiveness was a bit of a confusion because it's coming from a very humble and quiet, kind of demeanored person who I can tell knows what he's talking about, but at the same time, I do feel like he is just hurt about the things that happened to him. And when he spoke about it, I could tell there were certain emotions that came out in certain areas. So, unfortunately, my people, Mkhwanazi, who is now the acting chief of the EMPD, but recently has been suspended because he too made other people suspended, actively facilitated Matlala's criminal operations. How did he do this? He did this by forging official memorandums that actually granted Matlala's private security company, CAD VIP Protection, a fraudulent police powers. You know, think about that for a second. You have police powers as a criminal that is in the Big Five, and these powers are fraudulent. And these powers include issuing official city vehicle registrations for private cars, my people. Remember the whole He authorized the installation of blue lights on those private vehicles in order for it to give them immunity on the road. So Kat Matlala could go and have a cash heist, you know, and leave the scene in blue lights. And no one's going to say, it's you. It's a lot of things, my people. And unfortunately, he even granted them city fuel allowances. And my people, the other thing that would shock you is he gave them protection from arrest. Yes, Mkhwanazi must be charged. Julius Mkhwanazi, not the one that we love. Julius Mkhwanazi must be charged with treason, according to me, because he has placed a whole lot of the entire South Africa in danger. This crime is too much. In essence, my people, a private company was allegedly given the keys to the kingdom, basically. They were operating as a parallel, unaccountable police force. This is CAT VIP, and all thanks to the captured EMPD leadership. That is under acting chief, who is just a brigadier and is acting, Julius Mkhwanazi. But the web of corruption didn't stop at the city level, okay? It extended all the way to the National South African Police Service, which is the SAPS. Matlala's other company, which is Medicare 24, allegedly secured a rigged contract that is worth a staggering 360 million rand with SAPS for health services. Now, if you've been with us in this channel, you would know that it didn't go down well, okay? The man is mad in jail, and he is talking because his tender has been cancelled by the man he thought would protect it. So now, the testimony suggested that the massive fraud involved senior police officials and political associates, obviously, including who? The guy who just had his cell phones and his gadget seized so they can go and get checked there. He has been saying no with them for a very long time. And finally, I don't know what happened, but finally they seized them. I'm talking about none other than Senzo Mkhunu. The testimony, my people, shocked me because there are names that came up, including Abu Brown Mukhotsi, and he is also reportedly linked to Minister Senzo Mkhunu well. And there are people also like Major General Lisija Sinona, that is the head of the Hawks in KZN, who also was actually accused of leaking confidential investigation information directly to Matlala. Guys, these people just want us to be Brazil, Mexico, a rogue, I don't know, country. The capture, my people, was spreading like a virus through the country's justice system. The situation reached a boiling point between 2024 and 2025 when a legitimate police unit, which is the PKTT, got too close to the truth, okay? Now, the PKTT was investigating a series of political murders, and as they actually dug deeper, my people, they began to uncover direct links between the Big Five cartel together with these high-ranking police officials and powerful politicians. They were not just chasing criminals anymore because this thing was very complicated. They were threatening the entire corrupt network and its protectors. And that's when the hammer came down, because those people in the cartel said, you don't know us well. We will show you who we are. On December 31st, 2024, Minister Senzo Mkhunu decides, I'm just thinking in my head at home, I sleep, and when I wake up, I think, I must disband a team. He writes it down on the 31st and says, we must, before we move to the next year, you must know what to do. My gosh, he disbands the PKTT, which is the letter we're talking about now. It now becomes so sad because what started with an administrative decay of a single Metro Police Department, as described by Chief Mapiyeye, escalated into a very full-blown criminal takeover. And this is exposed by, obviously, Commissioner Mkhwanazi on the 6th. He's the one that told us everything that was going down, okay? You know I can talk the whole day, but for today, let's leave it there. I hope you enjoyed and actually maybe potentially understood what was said about EMPD and its crazy clowning circus of a municipality. Until next time, bye.